It's too thick. Yeah. The lecture goes until what time? Usually on Sundays. How many people come? Yeah. You have a beautiful temple here. You should take full advantage of it. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vala Givaradhari Gopi Jana Vala Givaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Sodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamna Tira Banachari Jamna Tira Banachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vala Givaradhari Gopi Jana Vala Givaradhari Sodanandana Braja Ranjana Sodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamna Tira Panachari Jai Radhama Ava Jabihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Vivaradhari Sodanandana Braja Jana Jamna Tira Banachari Jai Radhama Ava Jabihari Jai Radhama Ava Jabihari Jai Radhama Ava Jabihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Divine Geshula Abhecha Narmad Bhaktinanda Swami Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki Srila Prabhupada ki Shri Shri Gauritai ki Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar ki Shri Jagannath Subhadra Balaram ki All glory to the Samudamuri All glory to the Samudamuri All glory to Samudamuri All glory to Shri Guru and Shri Guru Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Welcome to the Sunday program. Om Agyantimanandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurmilitanena Tasmai Shri Shri Chaitanya Manovestam Savitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Hare Krishna So as we said earlier, today is a very auspicious day because a year ago in your temple, the deities of Gauditai and Jagannath Balaram were installed. So the Lord is so kind that He incarnates in the Archa Vigraha form. Archa Vigraha form means the form of the Lord in the form of a deity. There are two categories of deities. One is self-manifested, and the other is carved, according to description in the Shastras, and installed by the Bonaparte Acharya as per the guidelines in the scriptures. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu encouraged the construction of temples. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave Rupa and Sanatana Goswami specific instructions. Rupa and Sanatana were at one time serving the government of Hussein Shah. Shh! Someone should control the children. But their heart was more into serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Rupa Goswami was the first to resign. And later his brother Sanatan also resigned. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them to go to Vrindavan and perform certain important assignments. One was to identify places where the Supreme Lord had performed his pastimes. Second one was to write books on devotional service. Next was to construct temples and install deities. So, deity installation or worship of the deities, serving the Lord through the deities, is bona fide. So, Prabhupada gave us the worship of Gaurnitai. I think how many of you, before you came to ISKCON, you knew much about Gaurnitai? You understand my question? You must be from Bengal. Okay. Most of us didn't have much knowledge about Gaurnitai. Am I right? At least I didn't have. But Prabhupada took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings to the Western countries. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none else but the Supreme Lord. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya. Radha and Krishna appeared in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And there are many incarnations of the Lord. Just like you cannot count the waves of an ocean, you can't fully enumerate all the incarnations. But in the scriptures, the principal incarnations are discussed. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is avatar, one who descends from the spiritual world. But he appeared as a devotee, as Prahlad Maharaj says, Gupta avatar, hidden avatar. He's God, but he did not tell anyone he's God. In fact, when people would say, "Are you Krishna?" he would block his ears. So Narottam Das Thakur is one of the great Vaishnava poets. And Narottam Das Thakur in his famous bhajan says, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koramore, Toma Vina Ke Dayalu Jagata Samsare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please be merciful upon me. You are the most merciful of all incarnations. Why is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered the most merciful? Why? Freely distributes the process of love of God. He has simplified the process. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had predicted Prithivite Ache Jatanagradhigram Sarvatra Pracharo Evivarnam. In every town and village, the holy name will be chanted. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, our great Acharya, endeavored to make that happen. And his successor, Bhakti Siddhanta Ji, also followed in his footsteps. Bhakti Siddhanta Ji sent some sannyasis to the Western countries to establish Lord Chaitanya's teachings. But they came back without much success. So even the Bengali Vaishnavas were thinking, yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has predicted, but Kali Yuga is too deep. It may not happen. But Bhakti Siddhanta Ji had full faith that this is God's prediction, so it has to come true. So, in 1921, when Prabhupada's friend Malik told Prabhupada, there is a very special sadhu I want you to meet, Prabhupada said, I met so many sadhus. I'm not so impressed with them. But Prabhupada's father, Gaur Monde, you should regularly host sadhus in his house. So, Bhaktisiddhanta Ji, in the very first meeting, could see that here is the young boy who can fulfill Lord Chaitanya's prediction. So in the first meeting he told Prabhupada, you are an educated young man, why don't you take these teachings of Lord Chaitanya to where? Western countries. And Prabhupada said, first we should make our country, India, independent. Then people will listen. And Bhaktisiddhanta Ji then pointed out what is real independence. What did he say? Real independence is what? Freedom from the cycle of birth and death. So he injected this idea, gave Prabhupada the instruction, and before, 2 weeks before Bhaktisiddhanta Ji's departure, Prabhupada wrote a letter to him. You have so many nice sannyasi disciples. What is your instruction for me? And Bhaktisiddhanta Ji repeated exactly what he said in 1921. You're an educated young man. Take these teachings to the Western countries. So Prabhupada came to the West with barely a few dollars in his pocket. But he had with him 200 sets of the first canto of the Bhagavatam. He struggled, as you know, but he had full faith that Lord Chaitanya's prediction will come true. And today, what do we see? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prediction has come true. We are celebrating the second anniversary, or soon you will be celebrating the second anniversary of your temple here. And today, by Prabhupada's mercy, there are nearly 600 temples worldwide. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most merciful of all incarnations. Padit pavan hetu tava avatar, mosam apadita prabhu napai vyara. You have appeared to save the fallen people of Kali Yuga. Are we fallen or no? Someone told me in the Jersey area, there are no fallen people. Is that true or false? True, okay. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's process works everywhere, isn't it? I was in China about 6 weeks ago, and I was amazed how doctors, businessmen, everyone was chanting Hare Krishna all over the world. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gift to humanity. He simplified a very easy process. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at a young age had become a prominent Sanskrit scholar. He had defeated everyone. Hare Krishna. That Navadvip was the cultural capital of the world. And there was another prominent Sanskrit scholar called Keshav Kashmiri. He was also defeated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu later on took sannyas. But the Mayavadis, headed by Prakashananda Saraswati, would always criticize him. They would say, he has taken sannyas, but he's chanting and dancing like a madman. He should sit down with us and study the Vedanta. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Varanasi. There he was staying in the house of a devotee called Chandrasekhar. Chandrasekhar, by birth, belonged to a scheduled caste. But Lord Chaitanya didn't care what caste he belonged to by birth. Well, we only cared for what actions they are performing. In India, you see people identifying high caste, low caste, but we believe Kalo Saddha Samava. Actions determine where you belong. So Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra, two devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they told the Lord, we can't tolerate you are getting so much criticism. Please come and meet these Mayavadi sannyasis. So they took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the assembly where there were 10,000 Mayavadi sannyasis. And their leader, his name was Prakashananda Saraswati, was also there. These sannyasis were all sitting on a high platform, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came in there, he sat down where people wash their feet. Like in the Hindu temples, people wash their feet before going in. But at the same time, he displayed some of his superhuman qualities. He displayed effulgence equal to millions of suns put together from his face. So when the Mayavadi sannyasis saw this effulgence emanating from the Lord's face, they concluded he must be superhuman. So Prakashananda Saraswati came and took the Lord by his hand and brought him up to the higher platform. And then he said, why don't you sit down and study the Vedanta? You're such a prominent Sanskrit scholar. What is this you're chanting and dancing like a madman? And what did Lord Chaitanya say? My spiritual master considered me to be a fool. He said, all you're capable of doing is what? Chanting the holy name. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced chanting of the holy name. The holy name is so sublime and transcendental. Where is the holy name descending from? From the spiritual world. And the holy name is the easy path for self-realization. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us the holy name. Aha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi. Kripa Kara 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 Ami Bora Dukhi. Lord Nityananda, you please be merciful to me. Why? Why? What does Nityananda mean? Nitya means eternal. Ananda means bliss. So one who takes shelter of Lord Nityananda will always be blissful. So in your temple here, you have the beautiful deities of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. So Narottam Das Thakur says, my dear Lord Nityananda, you are always blissful and happy. But I am very sad. I am miserable. So please make me happy also. So Lord Nityananda sometimes appears as the older brother and sometimes as the younger brother. When Lord Ram appeared on the planet, Lakshman was but as a younger brother, Lakshman was not too happy. He had to carry out orders that he didn't want to do, but he had to follow his older brother. So in the next incarnation, he said, I'll become the older brother, and became Balaram. And again, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, he again appeared as the older brother. Lord Nityananda met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quite late. And Lord Nityananda is described to be very merciful. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed his teachers, his students, to go and preach Jare Dagotai Ko Krishna Upadesh. And what did he say? Go house to house and Bolo Krishna, Vajo Krishna, Koro Krishna Siksha. Tell people, please chant the holy names, worship Krishna, and follow Krishna's instructions. So in accordance with the Lord's order, Haridas and Nityananda made one team. Can you imagine a team of Nityananda and Haridas? How strong it must be. They went house to house to preach. Some places they were received well. Some places they were ignored. Some places they were humiliated. And you know that famous pastime of Madai throwing a stone that hit whose head? It hit another's forehead. And Lord Chaitanya, when he heard this, he came with his Sudarshan Chakra. And he was about to use it on Madai. Lord Nityananda stopped it and said, "Now, my Lord, this is a sample of what you can expect in Kali Yuga." And he stopped it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda are extremely merciful. And today you'll be pleased to know Gaur-Nitai are being worshipped in every corner of the globe. There are nearly 600 ISKCON centers all over the world. And everywhere people are worshipping Gaur-Nitai. So it's very nice that in your temple here, you have the deities of Gaur-Nitai. But you also have the deities of Radha, Shyam Sundar. And also the deities of? So Jagannath is who? Who is Jagannath? Lord of the universe. God is so kind. He appears in many, many forms. And the story of the Lord appeared as Jagannath is very interesting. But we'll talk about it only briefly. Once upon a time, there was a king called King Indradumna who was extremely pious. His only desire was to worship the Lord all day. Not like the present-day rulers who don't believe in worshiping and serving the Lord. And King Indradumna was totally absorbed in Satya Yuga. And one day a Brahmin came to his palace and said, "My dear Lord, there is a self-manifested deity of Nil Madhav. I want you to have darshan of the deity." But he didn't tell the Lord, he didn't tell the king where that deity is going to be. So the king was so keen to have darshan of the deities, he sent his Brahmins all over the world. But they came back without much success. These Brahmins went house to house. "Have you seen a deity by the name of Nil Madhav?" Everyone said no. One Brahmin didn't come back. What was his name? Vidyapati. He said, "I must continue to search." And he continued his search, came in touch with Vishwasu, who had a daughter named Lalita. And Vidyapati was very impressed by Lalita's saintly qualities. And so they got married. Vidyapati noted that his father-in-law goes away every evening, doesn't come back for a day or two, and when he comes back, there's so much fragrance from his body, it looks as if he's coming from heaven. So he asked his wife, "Where does your father go?" Initially, the wife would not say anything. And finally she said, "My father, there's a deity called Nil Madhav, self-manifested deity, in the corner of the desert that my father worships." Vidyapati said, "Can I have darshan of that Nil Madhav?" When he heard about Nil Madhav, he was in ecstasy. And the daughter said, "No, my father will never take you." Anyway, father agreed, but his only daughter insisted. But the father said, "On one condition, I'll blindfold you and open your eyes only when we reach Nil Madhav." He didn't want anyone to know that where Nil Madhav is located. Because Vishwasu was a poor Brahmin, and he felt that if the king finds out where this deity is, he would at once construct a big temple, and Vishwasu would be out, because he was born in a scheduled caste that took care of pigs. So anyway, near Vidyapati had darshan of Vishwas of Nilmadhav. He was very, very impressed. He went back and told the king, I have found Nilmadhav. And the king came with his army to the spot where Nilmadhav was. But when they came there, what did they see? What did they see? They saw that the deities were not there. The king was very upset. The king was very upset. He said, what's this? Who is playing the trick? He almost arrested Vishwasu. You must have hidden Nilmadhav somewhere. And Vishwasu said, sir, I have no idea where the deities are. Then there was a divine voice that said, I will not be manifested in this form now. I will be manifested in my Daru Brahman form. Daru Brahman means wooden form. And in the lake nearby, there's a log of wood floating. Take the log of wood and carve a deity or carve a deity of the Lord. So the king went to that location. He saw there was a big log of wood floating there, which had the symbols of the Lord's lotus feet on it. But the king and his army, they tried to lift the log of wood, but they could not. Then a divine voice said, if you want to lift this log of wood, go and bring the two devotees that serve the Lord, Vidyapati and Vishwasu. And they brought the deities, brought the two devotees, and then a wooden plank was taken to the house of the king. Many sculptors came, but they could not do anything. The moment they would strike the wood, their instruments would break. And the king was again in anxiety. Then Vishwakarma disguised himself as an old man. Anyone knows Vishwakarma? Who is Vishwakarma? Makes houses of the demigods. Vishwakarma came there and said, I will make a form of the Lord, but on one condition. For 21 days, no one should interfere. The king said, okay. So the king was sitting with his ears pasted against the wall, against the door, eagerly hearing the tick, 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 tick that was going on. This tick, tick is music for the ears. But then, after 2 weeks, the tick, tick, tick stopped. And the king was in anxiety. He didn't know what to do. He consulted his ministers, and they said, don't go inside, because the sculptor said if somebody comes in, he'll disappear. But Gundicha, the wife of the king, said, no, we haven't fed him for 2 weeks. Maybe he's dead. Open the door and see. And when they opened the door, they saw this transcendental form. They saw this transcendental form. And the king was thinking, oh, this form is incomplete. Because a layman, if he looks at Lord Jagannath, it appears an incomplete form. But then Lord Brahma said, now the Muni said, no, this form is bona fide. So the form of Jagannath Subhadra Balaram is a special concession in this age. The Lord's hands are stretched out, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. So with this, the Lord is saying, come, 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 I'm ready to give you protection, come to me. And the Lord doesn't sleep at all. His eyes are open wide, isn't it? He's constantly seeing all his devotees. And Lord Jagannath in Jagannath Puri only takes rest for 3 hours. Otherwise he's giving darshan all the time. So Jagannath is Lord of the universe, and we worship Lord Jagannath. And Lord Jagannath is also, can you turn up your mobiles? And Lord Jagannath is very merciful. So in your temple, you have the merciful Gauratai, and you have the merciful Jagannath Subhadra Balarama. Jagannath is very kind. Once in Orissa, there was a devotee called Arjun Misra. This devotee, he was a panda. All day, he would be reading the Bhagavad Gita. He had 3 children and a wife. And he was so absorbed in reading the Gita that people would call him Gita Panda. So once it was raining very heavily, and Gita Panda could not go out to do his begging. So he was very happy. He was reading the Bhagavad Gita all day. So his wife said, 1 week you haven't gone out to do any begging. If we don't beg, then we'll all starve and die. So Gita Panda said, don't worry, Jagannath will protect us. And he opened a verse from the Bhagavad Gita that says, those who serve me with devotion, I preserve what they have, and I make up what they lack. So his wife, she had no faith that Jagannath was going to protect them. So he took her nails and scratched that shloka 3 times. So, but Gita Panda, he had full faith that Jagannath will protect them. So, one day, when they were all sleeping, 2 very beautiful brothers came to the temple. One was as fair as milk, and the other one was dark. They knocked at the door. Gita Panda's wife opened the door. We are friends of Gita Panda. We have brought all this ration for you. How did you know that there was nothing in the house? And they said, we knew that you had nothing, so we brought this. She said, please sit down, I'll make some prasad for you. And the 2 brothers said, no, we have 3 scratches in our tongue, so we can't eat. And next morning, Gita Panda's wife woke her husband up. Yesterday night, 2 very beautiful boys came. They brought all this big ration for us. And they said, they're your friends. So her husband said, did you offer them some prasad to eat? Yes, I offered them. But they said, their tongue is bitten in 3 places. So the moment she said that, Gita Panda knew that was Jagannath and Balaram. And then they went and apologized to Jagannath and Balaram for being offensive. So Jagannath is very, very kind. There was once a king called King Purushottam. He was the ruler of Orissa, the father of King Prataparudra. So he was a great devotee of Jagannath. And as you know, in Orissa, on the occasion of Rath Yatra, the king personally sweeps the road and washes the road, isn't it? So this King Purushottam was going on a tour, and he came to a kingdom called the Kingdom of Kanchi. In Kanchi, he got to know the rule of the king. And the king had a daughter named Padmavati. So the king liked King Purushottam, And they decided that they would marry their daughter to whom? King Purushottam. So, and then the king said, I have to go back and make arrangements for Rath Yatra. So the king came back. And the king of Kanchi could not come. So he sent his minister to be present for Rath Yatra. The minister saw the king Purushottam is doing the work of a sweeper. He is sweeping the floor. What do they say in Hindi? Bhangi? He was sweeping the floor with a broom and washing the floor with scented water. So the minister was so foolish, he said, I'm not going to let my king's daughter marry this sweeper. So he went back and told the king, this king is not a king. He's a sweeper. I saw him sweeping the floor myself. So the marriage was called off. So when King Purushottam heard about this, he was very upset. So he decided to teach King of Kanchi a lesson. So they had made an agreement. If King Purushottam won the war, then Jagannath deities would be in the front and Ganesh deities in the back. King of Kanchi was a staunch devotee of Ganesh. And if the king of Kanchi won, then Ganesh would be in the front and Jagannath Balaram would be in the back. So there was a big war and King Purushottam lost. So he was very depressed. He came back to the Jagannath deities. He said, I was fighting to save your honor. I lost. There was fire in his camp. Jagannath said, go back and fight again. We two brothers will come and fight on your side. Can you imagine Jagannath and Balaram coming to fight in a war? So the king could not believe how this would happen. So the king took his army and proceeded towards the Kanchi king's kingdom. But before the king could reach his destination, Krishna and Balaram, Jagannath and Balaram, were on two horses. One was a white horse and the other one was a dark horse. And their complexions were white and dark. They were leading the army, but they were way ahead of the army of the king. So they were going towards Kanchi's kingdom when they felt thirsty on the way. So there was a lady selling buttermilk. It was very hot. So the Krishna and Balaram said, we want to drink your buttermilk. And they drank all the buttermilk. And then she said, money, paisa? And Krishna and Balaram said, Jagannath and Balaram, we don't have any money, but the king is coming behind us. He has all the money. She said, the king may not believe that I sold all my buttermilk to you. What proof is there? So Lord Jagannath took his ring out, gave her the ring and said, show this to the king and he'll pay you for our buttermilk. So the king was coming, marching ahead towards Kanchi. She said, stop, stop, stop. She said, your two soldiers came and drank all my buttermilk and said, you would pay for it. And the king said, what proof do I have that they took your buttermilk? So she took out the ring. One of the soldiers gave me this ring and said, I should show this ring to you. And when the king saw that ring, he recognized this ring belongs to whom? Jagannath. He was in ecstasy. He gave that lady 7 villages. And there was a fierce battle between the two armies. And King Kanchi's army had never seen such soldiers, and they were defeated. Therefore, in the Jagannath Puri temple, Jagannath Subhadra Balaram is ahead, and Ganesh is behind. So Jagannath is very kind. So your devotees should take advantage of it. So to take advantage, we need sadhu sangha. We should, Prabhupada established the first ISKCON temple. Which year, who knows? We were there yesterday as a matchless gift. Prabhupada was looking for a location, and that was a boutique. They had emptied the boutique. They took away all the signs from the boutique, but they forgot to rub the name of the boutique, which was? So Krishna consciousness is that matchless gift. Everybody likes to receive gifts, am I right? Even if somebody gives you a pen, a ball pen, you feel happy, isn't it? So everybody likes to get a gift. And in American culture, they promote gift giving. Father's Day, Mother's Day, Sister's Day, Daughter's Day. What are all these? Opportunities to induce you to give gifts, am I right? My gift for the father. So, many types of gifts you can get. But one gift that no one can give you except a devotee is the gift of Krishna consciousness. The gift of Krishna consciousness is the most complete gift. It's the only gift that will give you real happiness. Are people happy today? Yes, no? Why? Why are they not happy? Are Krishna conscious people happy? Can all of you certify you're happy? Yes. Okay. Why are you happy? You'll be happy if you chant the holy name. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Chaita Darpan Marjanam. One gain of chanting the holy name is it cleanses your heart. Am I right? Yes, no? Do you have that experience? I thought all of your hearts are already clean. Do they need more cleaning or more polishing? That is this chanting. So we should chant the holy name as much as we can. The holy name is our most important asset. And chanting the holy name is a special concession in Kali Yuga. So chant the holy name, and the holy name, if chanted properly, will also give you another buddhi, vardhanam, real happiness. So you've heard all this talk many times. There's nothing that I told you today you've heard for the first time. Is there anything I told you today brand new? No. Nothing is brand new. Our philosophy is 5,000 years old. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela is about 520 years old. So there's nothing that you're hearing for the first time. But we need to hear regularly, again and again, and then practice what we hear. So Prabhupada gave us a real thing. The real thing means the pure message of the Vedas. And we should take it very seriously. Chant our rounds nicely. Read the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita give us very important knowledge. How many of you read the Gita every day? That's all. At least you all are honest Brahmins. You were honest in lifting your hand. And how many of you read the Srimad Bhagavatam every day? And Chaitanya Charitamrita, I won't even ask. How many read the Chaitanya Charitamrita? So this reading is very important, and chanting. And stay in devotee association. Krishna engages us all in service and gives us the opportunity to engage in service. This opportunity to engage is only given to the most fortunate. And Krishna is always engaging us. I hear that when I came in, there was a discussion on the Brahma Utsav, and it's next week. Next week. Actually, in ISKCON, there are always festivals. Am I right? There's always some festival or the other. And these festivals inspire us to stay in devotee association and practice Krishna consciousness. So please take the Krishna consciousness seriously. Many times we know the value of Krishna consciousness, but Maya keeps discouraging us. What's the hurry? What's the rush? Take your own time. But we should understand, time and tide wait for no one, do they? It's an English phrase. Time and tide wait for no one. So take the Krishna consciousness and be happy. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I can take on some questions if you all have. You all have any questions? No questions? No questions? Yes, quickly. Be practical. You're not going to get organic milk everywhere. So, whatever is practical, do it. You can say organic Gita Nagari milk, but you're not going to get that everywhere in the world. Prabhupada told us in the early days, don't worry about these things. Any more questions? So spiritual association is very important. I was going to speak to you from the fifth canto today, but then when I came here, they told me today is a special anniversary of Gaunitai and Jagannath Pada Balaram. In the fifth canto, you read the wonderful story of Jat Bharat. So Jat Bharat tells King Rahugana, please associate with exalted devotees, because if you associate with exalted devotees, you will hear. What will you hear? The right message. Shadam Ketanam. And by that, you'll be able to make spiritual advancement. So that should be our goal. Just like in material life, you want to move up. Spiritually also, our goal should be to move up. So please chant, read, hear, and develop humility. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Sinadapi Sunicheda, Thorovi, Amanina Manadena, Ketanati Sadari. If you want to chant the holy names all the time, what does the Lord recommend? Humility. So chant the holy names, more humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, and devoid of all sense of poor pressure. In such a state, one can chant the holy name all the time. Is this Aarti time? They told me 8 o'clock was the deadline. Aarti. So lecture goes on till 8:30. No. Madhupati, I need some guy. I stopped at 8 because he told me to stop at 8. Oh, Prashad. Oh. Today's a fast day. You didn't know that? Today is your anniversary. You have to fast. Krishna consciousness is, okay, I'll stop then. No, this is Prashad time. So, well, they're being very kind. So I was going to, you want me to speak 10 minutes more? But then they'll have to miss Prashad. I'd like to read a verse to you. The verse is from the 5th canto. How many of you have smartphones in your pocket? Everyone, okay. How many of you have Prabhupada books in your smartphone? Okay. So you can open it very easily. 5, 12, 16. Simply by, you want to repeat after me to save time? Repeat after me. Simply by associating with exalted devotees, anyone can attain perfection of knowledge. And with the sword of knowledge, everyone is not saying, can cut to pieces the illusory association or within this material world. Through the association of devotees, one can engage in the service of the Lord by hearing and chanting Shravanam Kirtanam. Then one can revive his dormant Krishna consciousness and stick to the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Return home, back to Godhead, even in this life. Special concession to the devotees of Jersey. Okay. Y'all didn't catch the joke. So, this verse was spoken by a devotee called Jad Bharat. You know Jad Bharat? So the Srimad Bhagavatam is full of stories, katha. But these stories all have a theme, a message, and some instruction for us. For example, in the 5th canto, you read the story of Lord Rishabh. Rishabh means, what does Rishabh mean? The best. So Lord Rishabh is an incarnation of Godhead. He had how many sons? 100. The oldest of whom was called Bharat. Bharat Maharaj ruled the world very nicely. And the whole world planet was known as Bharatvarsha. Today when you talk of Bharat, it's tiny Bharat. At one time the whole planet was Bharatvarsha. So he ruled over the planet in a very exemplary way. After ruling over, he decided to go to the forest to practice meditation. He went to the forest, and one day he saw there was a she deer who was being chased by a lion. And the she deer was pregnant. And the she deer jumped to save her life. She died, but the baby, the child in her womb, fell out. The king thought that this is the will of providence. So he started taking care of the baby deer. He got excessively attached to the deer. And the deer would be out of sight. And for 1 minute, he would be in anxiety. One day, the deer was out of sight, and the deer was out of sight, and he was searching for the deer. And by searching for the deer, what happened? What happened? He died. As the Bhagavad Gita says, Yamam vapi smaran bhavan. Where your mind is at the moment of death, that's where you'll go. So he had to take birth as a deer. But it is also said in the scriptures, the devotional service doesn't go in vain. So he didn't have to stay for long as a deer. And he soon took birth in the family of Brahmanas. When he took his birth in the family of a Brahmana, he could remember his previous births. Can you remember your previous birth? Well, he could. He could remember his previous birth. And he knew, I made a mistake. I got excessively attached to the deer. So he was pretending in society as if he was deaf and dumb. His father tried his best to give him education, to teach him how to chant the Gayatri mantra. But Jad Bharat was so determined, he pretended like a fool. So his father gave up. He said, my son is a fool, what can I do? Later, when the father died, his 9 stepbrothers were treating Jad Bharat like a madman, like a fool. They kept him to guard the paddy field, chowkidar. There was a devotee of goddess Kali. He was the chief of the dacoits. And he wanted to have a son. So less intelligent people sometimes do sinful acts. So they were going to offer a less intelligent man, like a madman, to goddess Kali with the goal that their guru may have a son. So as they were massaging him, like you wash the fruits before you offer to the Lord. Do you do that? So they massage the body before they offer him to goddess Kali. The man ran away. So the dacoits were running here, there, looking for that madman. They could not find him, but they saw Jad Bharat standing there. Tall man. So they kidnapped Jad Bharat. And they were going to offer him to goddess Kali. And Jad Bharat did not protest. Sarve mana Krishna padara vindayo. His mind was fixed on the Lord. And as the dacoits took the chopper to offer to kill Jad Bharat and offer the blood to goddess Kali to drink, she could not tolerate the pain to her devotee. She took the same chopper and she chopped the heads of all the dacoits. And Jad Bharat was saved. So Jad Bharat was tall, long hands. One day there was a king called King Rohana who was going to Kapila ashram to hear a lecture. In olden days, the king and royalty would be carried in a palanquin. Everybody else had to walk on foot. So the king was going to hear a discourse. And as he was going, he was getting late. He told the dacoit, these carriers, go fast, I'm getting late. So they needed more help. They saw this tall man. They said, hey, come and help carry the king. So Jat Maharaj joined the team to carry the king. But unlike the others, Jat Maharaj was a Brahmin of the highest order. He would not put his feet on the ground till he saw, at least for the next 3 feet, there was no living entity on the ground. As a result, the palanquin of the king, instead of going fast, became, what did it become? You all understand English? Became slow. So the king got very upset. He started chastising. The other servant said, sir, why are you chastising us? We are not the cause. The cause is this new man that we added. So the king chastised him. Initially, Jat Maharaj tolerated it, but then he spoke. But when he spoke, the king realized this man is not deaf and dumb, but he is self-realized. So King Raghunath became his disciple and told him, please instruct me on the higher values of life. So Jat Maharaj is giving instructions, and in giving instructions he says, one who is serious about spiritual life should associate with exalted devotees. Exalted devotee means, what does it mean? Those who are advanced in devotional service. If you associate with genuine sadhu, what will you hear? You will hear the truthful message. The truthful message, you will hear the truthful message. Just like when Prabhupada, when he came to America, as you know, many sadhu Swamis approached him. He said, Swamiji, nobody is going to listen to your message. You must also water it down, start dressing up like us, in Western dress, and not insist on 4 regulative principles. Prabhupada refused to compromise. And rest is history. So, if you associate with genuine sadhu, he will tell you, Kale dose Rera Rajan, Kali Yuga is nothing but an ocean of vice. But there is one special benediction, and it's chanting of the holy name. And when you chant the holy name, what happens? The heart begins to get cleansed. So, constantly associate with the devotees who are more advanced. Now the Muni explains there are 3 levels of association that you can possibly have. You can associate with devotees who are more advanced, equally advanced, and less advanced. When you associate with somebody more advanced, you become joyful. Why do you become joyful? Why? Well, you're going to hear the real thing, the real message. When you associate with somebody equally advanced, you make friendship. Friendship in spiritual life means you work together to spread the message of the Lord. And when you associate with somebody less advanced, what do? Display compassion. So all the scriptures talk about devotee association. Prabhupada, when he established ISKCON, and he opened the first temple in New York, he introduced the Sunday program. Prabhupada was a perfect visionary. He knew a day would come when there would be many congregational devotees. So the Sunday program offers us the opportunity to associate with devotees, take part in the arati, take part in different spiritual programs. And who is the beneficiary? We are the beneficiaries. So chant the holy name and perfect your life. And we're so fortunate that Prabhupada gave us a real thing, so we should take advantage of it. Hare Krishna. You all have some questions? Well, it's okay. Any questions? No question? Yes, sir. Can you speak louder? It's the most valuable gift. Good question. When you are with devotee association, you feel happy. Then when you go to work or office or school, Maya becomes. So, there's a solution to this. Obviously, it would be best if we had all devotee companies, devotee colleges, devotee shops. That would be the best. But unfortunately, the ground reality is different. So what do? You chant your rounds in the morning, prepare yourself properly, and then you recharge your telephones. So we need to recharge our batteries every day. Every day, follow the morning sadhana. That will help you. If you don't recharge your batteries, then Maya will shoot you down. But if you charge your batteries properly, then you'll be able to shoot Maya down. So, have good sadhana and that will help you. Exalted Vaishnava doesn't mean he has to be Mahabhagavat. He can be an ordinary Vaishnava, provided he's giving you the right message. He's giving you the same message. We are not at the level of the Acharyas and Prabhupada, but we are giving you the pure message without distortion and trying to practice what we are giving you. So otherwise, you may say, oh, I don't see any exalted devotees here, so I have no one to associate with. So exalted devotee, of course, would be great, but it doesn't mean if you don't have exalted devotees, you don't associate. Yes. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. The point is, you may be in situations where you can't always chant. You follow? So in that position, you can remember the Lord. Like in your office, you can't chant with a japa, but you can remember the Lord. You follow? The point is, as I said in reply to, what's your name? Parikshit. Parikshit's question. We need to have good sadhana. Whether you're brahmacharya or grihastha, doesn't matter. You should have good sadhana. If you have good sadhana and chant your rounds nicely, that will help you even when you are working with a material energy. And good sadhana is very important. It's obvious that you can't chant all the time. But if you are in a position where you can't chant, you can think about the Lord. Yes.
You told that when there is no facility to chant, we can remember the Lord. This stage of remembrance come by the deliberate practice, or it comes by the, it's a part of the sadhana process which comes by the actual chanting?
Have you heard that famous English phrase, practice makes a man? You heard that before? Yeah. So for everything in life, you have to endeavor. Nothing comes without endeavor. You follow? They say try and try again. And what else? You will succeed at last. So you have to keep trying. Nothing comes without trial. Am I right? To attain spiritual perfection also, you have to try. And Krishna says, those who worship me with devotion, I preserve what they have, and I make up what they lack. So we may have so many shortcomings, but Krishna will make it up. So I think I'll stop over here. I first stopped at 8, now time for Arati. Thank you very much. Chant Hare Krishna. Yeah. Sorry, I hope your prasad is waiting for you. 8 o'clock was prasadam time.